Hello and welcome everybody to the FSL Season 4 award show. It has been a long and hard-fought season, but man has it flown by. Many continue their legacy and some start their journey, but the whole FSL landscape is completely changed between then and now. We have some awards to hand out tonight, we have some all-stars to announce, and many of these players will be right back here next week to kick off the start of the FSL playoffs. Good luck to all of you competing, and good luck to the rest of you now. We have 10 awards to give out, and we have our all-star first and second teams to announce today. And to start things off, we have compiled the stats, every point, every turnover. Even Taylor Barker, the first player in FSL history to record a point as well as a turnover this season. Tonight, we compiled those statistics to bring you the best of the best in each and every one of these awards. But with the high of the highs come the low of the lows. This is your Worst Player of the Year award. This award goes out to the player that has spent the most time in games and brought forth the least results. The worst player in the FSL this season is Ivan Diaz from the Frogs. Ivan Diaz played in 6 games and only recorded 1 turnover. That puts him one step above Louis Weeks, who is last year's Worst Player of the Year, who has yet to record a turnover in his career. Weeks has not played in a game yet this season, but he is still rostered, hoping for a good playoff run sitting on the Red Pandas roster. All right, now it's time to get into the real awards, and we start things off with a good one. It's the Comeback Player of the Year. While the criteria for this list is a little bit loose, though, Comeback Player of the Year is defined as someone who has overcome some challenges, maybe even some injuries in their career, and had an amazing bounce back this season. Your 4 finalists for Comeback Player of the Year are Fabian Hills, Frogs; Adrian Brown from the Dragons; Stefan Fitzsimmons from the Rebels; and Kelvin Rodriguez from the Phantoms. And your Comeback Player of the Year is Stefan Fitzsimmons from the Rebels. Fitzsimmons dealt with injuries his whole career, dealing with injuries in Season 3 as well as Season 4, but he has turned that all around, making himself one of the best defenders in the FSL. Fitzsimmons has had 3 triple turnover games in regulation this season, despite missing 2 of those due to injury. No matter what challenges may come, Fitzsimmons faces them and overcomes them. Your Comeback Player of the Year, Stefan Fitzsimmons. Next up is a fun one. We have had a lot of talented rookies this year, and a lot of rookies getting playing time from all 5 rounds of the draft. It's time for the Steal of the Draft award. The Steal of the Draft, defined as the best player from the lowest position on the draft board. We are looking at 4th and 5th round guys, and I take a look back at the draft video. There is a lot of recognizable names from the 5th round. Even Mr. Irrelevant, Clark Johnson, who got some playing time with the Mystics this season. All right, for those of you that missed the draft, I'm going to announce these finalists, and those that watched the season but didn't see the draft, your mind is about to be blown about how late these guys were taken. Your finalists for the FSL Steal of the Draft are Sean Jacobs, Los Lobos; Lamar Brown, Tide; Alfred Blair, Rebels; and Jorge Silva, Flame. And your Season 4 Steal of the Draft is Sean Jacobs, Los Lobos. Sean Jacobs has not just been one of the best rookie defenders out of the 5th round. Sean Jacobs has not been just one of the best defensive rookies, one of the best rookies. Sean Jacobs is one of the best players in the FSL today, totaling 17 turnovers in regulation this season. Sean Jacobs has been electric on defense, and a lot of that production coming in the back half of the season. I don't know how these guys fell to the 5th round, but let me just read out the first 3 picks of the 5th round, the final round in the Season 4 FSL draft. It started out with Lamar Brown for the Tide, then Manuel Cook for the Comets, and then Los Lobos found Sean Jacobs. I highly recommend going back and watching that draft video again. There is a lot of talent that was taken late. 26 defenders were taken before Sean Jacobs, and he proved everyone wrong this season. Congratulations to Los Lobos for finding the steal of the draft. Next up is time for our FSL Man of the Year award. This award is given out for not just your performance on the field, but for every player's contributions outside of the organization. A lot of players have been giving back to the community. A lot of players have been performing acts of service outside of their fake sports duties. Here are your finalists for the FSL Man of the Year award. Burl Packer, Mystics. Frank Ricks, Los Lobos. Joey Spencer, Red Pandas. And Christopher Shaw, Dragons. And your FSL Man of the Year is Christopher Shaw from the Dragons. We all applaud these players for their effort and their performance and their game, but we'd all like to take some time to recognize those that go above and beyond outside of the game. And Christopher Shaw has just exemplified that type of mindset and culture. Congratulations to Christopher Shaw. It is time now for our best FSL Duo of the year. These are the two highest rated players on the same team, those that have a different level of connection with each other, and those that make a difference when they're matched up together in the game. Your finalists for the best FSL Duo are Dwayne Wells and Francesco Sage from the Dragons. The rookies, Courtney Fowler and Audrey Becker on the Tide. Your reigning offensive and defensive player of the year, Quinn McHugh and Benny Bronk from the Knights. And your 1-2 offensive-defensive combo, Todd Ross and Joey Spencer from the Red Pandas. And your best FSL duo this year is Quinn McHugh and Benny Bronk from the Knights. Quinn McHugh is averaging well over 3 points a game and has not gone a game in his career without scoring. Meanwhile, Benny Bronk is also Mr. Consistency. Not once this season has Benny Bronk gone through a game and not come down with a turnover. Just absolutely incredible consistency and dominance from both of these players, and they're going to be fun to watch in this upcoming playoff race. Congratulations to Quinn McHugh, Benny Bronk, and the entire Knights organization. With both of them healthy and ready for the playoffs, I am excited to see how they perform. All right, just a couple more awards to give out before we announce our FSC and ISC All-Star rosters. Let's go ahead and take some time and give some credit to these very talented rookies, starting off with the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. The Defensive Rookie of the Year award is given out to the rookie who has achieved the highest rating in the defensive category. From the first round down to the 5th round, this is probably the most talented rookie class the FSL has ever seen. Your finalists for Best Defensive Rookie of the Year are Courtney Fowler, Tide, Dwayne Wells, Dragons, Jorge Silva, Flame, and Sean Jacobs, Los Lobos. And your Defensive Rookie of the Year is Jorge Silva from the Flame. Jorge Silva has marked an incredible 2.5 turnovers per game. 4 out of 10 games, he forced 4 or more turnovers in regulation. That means that if Jorge Silva was on offense and these turnovers were offensive scores, he would still land in the top of the FSL in scoring. Jorge Silva has marked an incredible season. I would urge all of you to go back and focus on the defense in these Flame matchups. It is a thankless job, and Jorge Silva has delivered time and time again. Congratulations, Jorge Silva, the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And now it's time I'd like to announce our Offensive Rookie of the Year right before we announce our All-Star selections. The highest rated rookie on offense, your finalists are Adrian Mitchell, Los Lobos, Lamar Brown from the Tide, Joey Spencer, Red Pandas, and Max Adams from the Comets. And your Offensive Rookie of the Year is Max Adams from the Comets. Does this come at a surprise to anyone? Max Adams has been absolutely electric all season long, scoring 32 points in regulation across 9 games, totals an average of 3.56 points over the season. Max Adams has scored 3 or more points in 8 out of 9 games and has never been held to 0. Just an incredible performance from an incredible young man, Max Adams, your Offensive Rookie of the Year. And now it is time to look at your first team All-Pro selections. These are the best of the best, the most elite players from each conference who will compete in the All-Star game tomorrow. Your first team All-Pro selections from the FSC are, on offense, Max Adams from the Comets. Quinn McHugh from the Knights, and Marcus Evans from the Sharks. Your ISC All-Pro Offense first-team starters are Francesco Sage from the Dragons, Percy Willis from the Mystics, and Adrian Mitchell from Los Lobos. Your first-team All-Defense from the FSC, Benny Bronk from the Knights, Stefan Fitzsimmons from the Rebels, and Alfred Blair from the Rebels. And for the ISC, your All-Pro first-team defense, starting out Jorge Silva from the Flame, Sean Jacobs from Los Lobos, and Dwayne Wells from the Dragons. And while they may not get an opportunity to play in the All-Star game, we would like to recognize and award your second-team All-Pro players. From the FSC, your second-team All-Pro offense is Octavio Brin from the Phantoms, Joey Spencer from the Red Pandas, and Isaac Forrester from the Red Pandas. Your ISC second-team All-Pro offense is Lamar Brown from the Tide, Drew Park, the Frogs, and Christopher Shaw from the Dragons. And on defense now, your FSC second-team All-Pro defense is Todd Ross from the Red Pandas, Cornelius Gross from the Red Pandas, and Bill Roy from the Phantoms. And out of the ISC, your second-team All-Pro defense is Courtney Fowler from the Tide, Audrey Becker from the Tide, and Burl Packer from the Mystics. A big round of applause for all of these players. These are your top-rated players per position out of each conference. These first-team All-Pro players will go head-to-head tomorrow in our FSL All-Star game. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, your final 3 awards to be handed out: the Offensive Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year, and of course, our grand finale, the MVP Award. Now, your FSL Defensive Player of the Year, this award goes out to the top-rated defender in the entirety of the FSL. Your finalists are Benny Bronk from the Knights, Dwayne Wells from the Dragons, Jorge Silva from the Flame, and Sean Jacobs from Los Lobos. And your Defensive Player of the Year is Jorge Silva from the Flame. Jorge Silva is a rookie this year, and not only that, but he was picked up in the 4th round. Our analytics department had him as a B+ rated player coming out of the draft, and he has proved everyone wrong. He is averaging 2.5 turnovers per game in regulation. If those were points, he would be one of the top scorers in the league. To put that in perspective, the next highest average turnovers per game from a defender is 1.72. Not only is Jorge Silva averaging well over 2 turnovers a game, he is the only defender averaging only 2 turnovers a game. If those turnovers were points, Jorge Silva would be a top 5 scorer in the league. I can't even explain how insane of a stat that is. Do you know who has averaged more than 2.5 points per game in regulation? Quinn McHugh, Marcus Evans, and Max Adams. End of list. Just an insane accomplishment from the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Make him the Defensive Player of the Year. Jorge Silva has had a nightmare of a season for offenses everywhere. Congratulations to Jorge Silva, the best defender in the league, maybe the best defender of all time. And that leads into our Offensive Player of the Year award. As always, this award goes out to our top-rated offensive player in the entirety of the league. And your Offensive Player of the Year finalists are Francesco Sage, Dragons, Quinn McHugh from the Knights, Marcus Evans from the Sharks, and Max Adams from the Comets. And your Offensive Player of the Year is Max Adams from the Comets. Max has had quite the season as well. Not only is he Mr. Consistency, but he is the highest scorer in the league by a wide margin. He is averaging over 3.5 points per game, and he has more career points as a rookie than most veterans do. Max Adams is the only player to score over 30 points in regulation this year, and as I said earlier, 8 out of 9 games that he's played this season, he has scored 3 or more points in. Just an incredible accomplishment for this incredible rookie. And now, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, the FSL MVP Award. This award has some interesting criteria to it. Not only is this given out to one of the top-rated players in the league, but you must bring that spark, that unquantifiable X factor. You are the reason that your team is winning the games that they are. The most valuable player in the FSL finalists are Benny Bronk from the Knights, Jorge Silva from the Flame, Marcus Evans from the Sharks, and Max Adams from the Comets. And your Season 4 MVP is Max Adams from the Comets. Not only does Max Adams have the scoring record this year, and not only does Max Adams have the best average out of any player in their career in the FSL, but Max Adams wins games. 8-1 is his record as a starter in the FSL, and he came into a franchise that has had troubles, that has had difficulties, and he was the catalyst that turned that program around. 3 games putting up 5 points in regulation, 8 games putting up 3 or more. Max Adams is the reason the Comets are the #1 team in the FSL heading into the postseason. What a career this young man has had already. Congratulations to Max Adams, and congratulations to all the Comets fans who have stuck through it season after season. You have found your guy. Good luck to Max Adams and everyone else in the playoffs this year, and thank you everyone for taking the time to acknowledge some of these players and their hard-fought work put in every single day of this season. There's a lot of FSL yet to be played. We've got the playoffs up next, but first, it's the All-Star game on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you tune in and watch. Jump into the Discord, we'll be watching it. But once again, thank you all for tuning into this official broadcast of the FSL.